Welcome back to the second video of our series of 3 learning videos on case analysis and presentation. Did you do the case analysis and make a presentation as I had requested you? How easy or difficult did you find it? In the following part of the video, I will show you the way to solve the Farmdale India case. The SWOT analysis. SWOT stands for strength, weakness, opportunities and threats. Let's do a SWOT analysis for Farmdale. If you think about various pieces of data and information given in the case, we can list following strengths for the company. What are the strengths? It has a strong design know-how, has high brand equity, the business model with low fixed cost and long-term liability, parent company business is geographically broad-based. What are the weaknesses? Presently, the company is largely dependent, the Farmdale India is largely dependent on Paris office for work. Quality and timeline commitments are not to the global standards. Absence of SLAs between Farmdale Paris and Farmdale India and also with JPP. Lack of agility in meeting evolving customer needs. Attrition of trained people, less control on trained staff, and high dependence on JPP. Here are opportunities. Farmdale provides low-cost, high-quality service. India, South Asia are growing markets for infrastructure and related business. Option of going for own employee-based model leading to lower cost and high employee retention is always there. Indian infrastructure business is moving to global standards. This means Farmdale Paris design know-how will find takers even at high price. Here are some of the threats. If there is sudden slack in demand in Europe, work for Farmdale India may dry up. JPP may come up with exorbitant demands, making Farmdale India operations unviable. Other countries in the region, China, Malaysia, Philippines, etc., could offer stiff competition to Farmdale India. Client company finances could be weak, resulting in financial risk for Farmdale India. You can see that I have just picked up points from the case and put them up into 4 categories. Very simple task. I'd like to highlight here a few things. You must have read in the newspapers recently of some large infrastructure companies in India being in deep financial trouble. If FI is dealing with one such company, it may face financial stress.
I am confused about what is a strength and what is an opportunity. Similarly, what is a weakness and what is a threat? To me, these are similar.
Strengths and weaknesses are inherent and internal to the company, like brand equity, design strength, high attrition, profitability, cash flow, quality standards not up to the global marks, etc. Opportunities and threats are external to the company, like growth or decline in the industry, political and social conditions, competitive situation, development in technology, etc. It is ideal to present SWOT analysis in the grid format that I have shown here. To make SWOT analysis impactful, think carefully and present maximum 5 points in each bucket. Do not make a laundry list of 15-20 points. Ensure that same point does not appear in multiple places. Next, write the points in brief and explain during the presentation. If your thought process is clear and you present the ideas crisply, the assessor would be impressed right in the beginning and half the battle is already won. For practicing, you can list your own company's SWOT and discuss with your managers and colleagues. This will help you build a critical thinking mindset and ability to make connections. Actually, a good SWOT analysis forms a strong basis for identifying alternative solutions. Your task is simplified to A. In the short term, address weaknesses and immediate threats by using strengths, and B. Create long-term plans to benefit from opportunities while sidestepping threats. Doesn't it sound simple and logical? Having done the SWOT analysis, what is the way forward for Claude Breton? His approach could be: examine Farmdale India's short-term and long-term objectives. What are relevant market and environmental forces at work? What are major distinct risks and opportunities? List top 3. Suggest options for each of the concerned areas. Option evaluation based on given data and information. Make clear recommendations. Give plan of actions with timelines and review mechanism. Put down resource requirement. Give, wherever possible, expected financial results based on the suggested actions. Resources are finance, people, technology. Please note that without clear financial results, any analysis and recommendation is of little value. Short-term goals. A mutually acceptable agreement with JPP. While Formdale India has established itself as a reasonably dependable design office for Formdale global clients and has also started recovering its cost, it is still not a very stable operation. In the short term, Breton has to ensure a mutually acceptable agreement between Formdale India and JPP soon. For this, FI should put forward its concerns about adverse impact of staff attrition. Recognizing that JPP also has manpower cost escalation issues, FI can offer to link employee cost increase to some staff retention metrics. For example, they can offer that Formdale India will pay to JPP 15% more for the staff which remains in the company for 24 months and more. The figure becomes 8% for those who are between 12 months and 24 months. And those who are less than 12 months in Formdale India, there is no increase in their per head cost. This will offer an incentive to JPP to retain their staff by paying them competitive salaries commensurate with their skill levels. Try to offer to pay X minus 15% for first 3 months. This period is more like a training period for new joinees. Some of the short-term goals. Formdale India should offer to work with JPP to survey the market in India and benchmark salaries paid to equivalent professionals. JPP should pay the salary to its employees and get a markup on it towards its cost and profits. An external manpower consultancy firm could be hired for this purpose with shared cost. Formdale India should consider a bonus if JPP meets SLAs at a level of 98% and higher. Even though this will mean extra cost, the resultant improvement in quality and accuracy of work to clients will more than compensate this. There is risk in this. JPP may not agree to proposed commercial terms, and Formdale India may have to agree to some cost escalation. Another point Breton should look at is SLAs with Paris office. Breton should work with Paris team who are Formdale India clients to establish SLAs on 1. Level of details, document completeness at the time of project start and final handover from both sides. 2. This should also include deliverables like quality timelines of the work to be delivered to the Paris office. 3. Form a steering committee, Formdale Paris and Formdale India people who would connect on teleconference each week to discuss and resolve all issues, discuss changes, agree on deliverables during coming 1 or 2 months. All discussions and minutes should be circulated to all stakeholders. And next, form a clear understanding on cost of delay of information, deliverables on both sides, client change requirements and consequent cost implications, and such costs should be borne by the concerned party. SLAs may invite resistance from Paris office and their clients who might feel that FI was trying to be too bureaucratic and less flexible. However, a consistent and open-minded approach would lead to established SOPs and SLAs that in the long run would benefit both organizations and would make Formdale establish itself as a highly professional player in the field. Even if Formdale Paris office was dealing with other design service providers, these SOPs and SLAs would make the working smooth. Less errors and delays improve profitability of any organization. We will now discuss long-term actions that Breton should initiate. Actually, the step to agree on SLAs with Paris office can be considered a long-term step, but it is not critical point as to how to name it. The thought process is more important. We'll also discuss action plans. In terms of long-term goals, Breton should make a plan to engage with Asian and Indian MEP, HVAC project companies operating in India and who are actively involved in infrastructure projects. He should create a team of 2-3 business development professionals with relevant experience in Indian market and lead the team himself. Over the next 3 months, the team should meet all A and B prospective customers in engineering design field and pitch for business. Target should be to generate rupees 10 to 15 million turnover from Indian market in 2019-20. Make clear and justifiable calculations and projections on revenue, manpower, cost, and profitability over 3 years. Breton should prepare a plan that will envisage hiring 50% of the team on own roles and rest 50% to be sourced from JPP. This will be a distinct departure from Formula India's initial business model. The plan should include get projections for business that is likely to be received from Paris office in next 3 years. Also get projections for business that will be generated from India and other Asian clients. Estimate number of people required in each category to meet requirements of projected business over next 3 years. Having part team on the old roles will benefit in 2 ways. There will be a saving in manpower cost. Even after accounting for additional administrative effort, FI will be able to retain skilled manpower. FI will be able to raise skill levels of its own team through effective training. Better and more committed team will result in less errors and delays in delivery to the clients. The risk here, increased administrative effort and costs. Second is less flexibility in case the need arose to exit India. And third is management involvement in local laws and issues. One thing I have not mentioned here, Formdale Paris may be reluctant to get into this model. Well, some risk is inherent when a company wishes to make long-term commitments in India. Breton should give convincing arguments to HQ and get a buy-in on this plan. He'll need to hire expert HR, legal and taxation experts. Friends, we will stop here. I guess you have adequate food for thought. Please go to the next video in the series, which is Case Analysis Part 3. In that video, I have shown financial impact of actions suggested so far. I have concluded that video, which is the last video in the series, with more tips on case analysis and presentation. Happy learning!